What's up, YouTube? R&R back with another shitty video. I got some motorcycle parts in for the CMT or CM400T. So let's see what we got. I ain't gonna sit here and talk your ear off. Hopefully I don't dox myself. Got a chain. Obviously I'm gonna have to put a new chain on it because it's been sitting for 20 years. This is the carburetor. It's all the gaskets, new needle, that sort of stuff. 2 new floats for the carburetor. This is our air filter. I'm going to put that in right fast on camera. Oh, Jesus. This is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's for the spark or something. I don't know if I'll put that on. If all the spark's working, I might just not put that on quite yet. Since I ordered a new chain, I went ahead and got the new sprockets to go with it. These are going to be easy to put on, it looks like. So, I'll probably, if they're the same, they should be the same. But if they're the same as the ones on the bike, then I'll go ahead and put the new ones on just in case the old ones have any kind of sort of bends in them. So, let's see. The air filter. This is like the easiest thing I'm going to get to put on. Jesus, if I can get out of the box. So, look at that. Brand spanking new. It's weird, the air filter on my four-wheeler I had, the Bayou, if you go back and watch that video, that thing was like $30 for just the foam that goes around the filter. I got this guy for like $8, and it looks good. So, it looks minty. So, let's go ahead and throw that on. Alright, so starting with the tank, I believe we just take this one bolt off, and it'll actually just slide up and out like that. And then I just gotta have a pan ready to catch whatever nasty gas is gonna try to come out of here. I'll just take this hose off, and that'll get us towards the carburetor. It'll also let me clean the tank out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that bolt taken out, and we'll see what happens with the tank. Alright, so that was actually very easy. You can see it just hooks onto these two things. So it really only has one bolt holding it on. It's got these little rubber spacers there. That's an OEM dirt dauber nest there, so I'm leaving that on. The good news is the petcock actually works. So I don't have to bother replacing that just yet. And yeah, it's kind of a little rusty down there, so we'll have to take care of that. But that's off, so I can get that cleaned out now. And you can see now I have a little bit more access to the carburetor. So we'll go ahead and try to start to get that off. I'll see what happens. Alright, so that was a major pain in the ass. Had to take the motor mount off just to sort of fish the throttle cables out to where I could unhook them. Oh, so here is the beast. And as you can see, it is pretty dirty in there. It's not too bad, but it's kind of bad. Actually a bit cleaner on the engine side. But here are these, I'm going to be replacing these. Like I said, they're supposed to have some flex in them. Let me get one of these off right fast and we'll see how flexible it is. Alright, so I got it off, and as you can see, it's pretty freaking stiff. And that would be a I've actually seen them worse than this before, but that would still be a absolute nightmare to try to get that on. Of course, I could have left it on the carburetor, but since I have the carburetor off, I'm going to put a new one of these on both sides. Plus, look at it, it's just crusty and gross. You can actually see it's just crumbling like that. I wouldn't really want this on my engine, and since they're cheap and easy to replace, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, now that the carburetor is off, I get to go give this thing a very deep cleaning. Hang on, I'm trying to focus. I get to give it a very deep cleaning. Replace all of the gaskets and seals. And I will probably show that video. I don't know if I'll actually... I might show little bits, but I'm not going to show the whole full carb rebuild. Just because they're all the same. You just got to pull the thing apart. Pull the top off. You pull these bowls off. You replace all the gaskets, replace the jets, and that's really it. And I'm replacing the floats and needles, though they may not even need those. I'm just going to replace them anyway, just because I have them and they were cheap. So it's best to do the full rebuild with new floats and needles, just because you don't want to get it back on the bike and then figure out you have to replace them and then have to get them back off. They're cheap enough that it's just easier just to always replace them. Besides, if you want it to run great, you might as well just go ahead and do the whole thing. So enough talking about that. I'm going to get this inside and I'm going to start kind of pulling covers off and we'll see what it looks like on the inside. Alright guys, I'm going to talk quiet because it's late at night and I've got the carburetor torn down. This is pretty much all I'm really going to show. Just kind of the general state of it. Up in here is clean. The bowls are kind of nasty from all that varnish. And I figured out the reason the throttle was stuck up is because, see, this is what happens when gas gets really old. Listen. Basically, it's just some kind of, it's like glue in there. So, after I get this cleaned up, this carburetor should go perfectly, I'd assume, because it looks actually not bad in here. Onto the other side. The floats actually look good. I haven't looked at the needles yet. Of course, I'm going to be replacing all of these jets. The floats and needles, as well as these guys. Just this part right here. And so that's really it for the carburetor. I'm not going to show the entire rebuild because it's just little gaskets, and I'll show what I got in these boxes right here. Open this. That's what was in the bowls. Just nasty old varnish. Nasty stuff. Anyway, here's everything I'll be replacing. Probably won't use all of this, just the jets. Anything that could get clogged from varnish I replace. And of course the gaskets. So that should be it for the carburetor. We'll move on to the gas tank next. Probably in the video. I just gotta rinse it out with fresh gas, and I believe that should be good. I might throw a new petcock valve on it just because the old one might have some crud in it, or I might just throw a new fuel filter on it and call it good. We'll see how I'm feeling. Alright, me being the lazy son of a bitch I am, I didn't really record any of the carb rebuild, but I actually have it all done. It was all gummed up and seized up with the old varnish, so that took, I think I probably put about 4 hours into rebuilding it. I used rubbing alcohol to get all the varnish off, all that nasty goop. Choke works, and the throttle now works. It's a little sticky, I'd say, so I need to work that in. I think that's from the outer mechanism out here, so I'm gonna have to lube all that up, and I think actually the cables are kind of sticky too, so I just got to get some lube in them. So yeah, I'm gonna finish putting the carburetor back on, and then really all I have to do is the gas tank and the oil, and we'll be ready to start it up for the first time. Alright, so that was a pain in the ass to get on and a pain in the ass to get off. It's got 3 cables that go to it, and there's just not much room between all these boots and getting these guys to line up. Overall, big pain in the ass. So now onto the gas tank. Alright, so a bit of a jump cut. I got lazy and didn't record the gas tank. I got it all cleaned out. I took it off and I just rinsed it with gas 2 or 3 times, and it's actually got a little gas in it now. The oil and filter I changed. It was kind of a messy job, so I couldn't really hold my camera any. It's really almost ready to fire up. I've got the carburetor on. Oil is done. And man, I think it's about time. Oh, I put a new fuel filter on there just because I had it laying around for the moped. And just woke up today. New brake reservoir came in. See, that one's pretty shot, so we might go ahead and change that off right fast and see what happens with that. Okay, so it's time to end the video. It's been a couple weeks since I've recorded, just because I've been working like 48-hour weeks, even in quarantine or lockdown or whatever. So I hadn't had a whole lot of time to mess with it, but I did get everything done on it and was ready to try to start it. I wanted to get the first start on video, but truthfully, I pressed the starter while getting it ready, and it fired right up like it hadn't been sitting for 2 minutes, let alone 20 years. So I didn't get the first start on video, but the bike is running now. The only reason I'm recording now is because I kind of have to. I got new tires in, got the new chain and shit, and basically tomorrow it's going into a shop for new chain. Gotta have the carburetor synced, put new tires on it, putting the new chain sprocket cogs or whatever, I don't know what they're called, but and yeah, actually the carburetor still has an issue. The left side needle isn't seating, so it runs, but I'm gonna have to have that sorted. Thankfully they have to take the carburetors off to have them synced, so I'm just gonna let the shop deal with that. I could just take it off, clean it a bit more, and it'd work fine. But yeah, I mean, that's it for the getting it to run video. I'm sorry I didn't get the gas tank or the oil on video. I'm still kind of getting used to trying to record while I do stuff. So that's kind of it for this video. I will include the second start, the very second start of the bike after 20 years, sort of at the end of the video. But yeah, next video will be to clean up all of the chrome. The gas tank is getting painted later sometime. I'm going to be cleaning it up really good and making it just look as good as it can without taking it for paint work and stuff like that. I'm going to be cleaning the wheels. Of course, with the new tires and chain and shit on it, it's going to look great. Next video will be sort of the restoring part of making it look great. So, here's that second start, and thank you for watching my 23 subscribers.